Thanks guys. Let's get things started and take a look at the roadmap. The PMA VMA has been integrated into the item kiosks. Working on a boot sequence planned for the kiosk monitors, the intention is to animate the character shown on the kiosk to specifically show off weapons and clothing as the player is browsing through options. Wireframe for the shopping flow continues to be worked on. Speaking of the PMA and VMA, mobiGlas improvements continue, with gameplay teams adjusting the arm position to better match the target, adding fade in and out to the loading screens and integrating tooltip on the app buttons to reveal what each app is when you hover over it. As a result of these adjustments, the button press is misaligned at the moment, and the animation team will be helping to get that back in line with the app projection graphics. A quantum travel bug causing ships to spin out of control upon coming out of QT was recently fixed. Turns out the game was storing mouse moves made during the quantum travel process and executing them all in short order upon exit. And the gameplay teams have been working on streamlining the quantum travel process for better functionality and ease within the developing group system, with UI mockups for quantum linking almost complete and calibration-based implementation for the feature in progress. Looking forward to future releases, VFX has been doing scanning R&D for visuals and the way that the scanning grid is implemented in a cockpit. This is very early prototypical work, and the team is taking feedback from Chris Roberts and others into account as they continue to research and tweak the mechanic. VFX has also been doing R&D on a very experimental particle spline emitter that could potentially be used to create various space anomalies like Aurora Borealis, energy pulsing through the coil, and more elaborate and diverse explosions. The ship team have been looking at the interiors of the Aegis Hammerhead, performing colour palette tests to determine which colour and lighting combinations work best, with early work continuing on the bridge, cargo room and captain's quarters. On the Origin 600i, the exploration module is complete, and work on the ship's escape pods and interior corridors is almost complete. As we finish designing the escape pods, the ship team is putting their heads together with design and animation in order to nail down how the functionality and animation will work with game mechanics. Meanwhile, the rework of the consolidated Outland Mustang line is ongoing, with the ship now in the final art stages. The props team have continued their work on the hangar props, adding more heavy machinery to the set to bring movement and life to the utilitarian hangars. The utilitarian material has gone through a polish, improving the wear to give a harsher transition between the layers of paint and surfaces that have accumulated over years of use and maintenance. And here we see their work on a modular cable set, which has been whiteboxed and handed over to the environment art team for validation before taking them further through the art pipeline. The tech art team has been prototyping procedural prop placement. Work is being done on different layouts to add variety to rooms. The systems can be used for decals on walls, exteriors and usable items as well. When using the tool, a designer can place a volume in the environment which can be named or tagged to indicate a prop or a collection of props to be spawned. The tool will specify the category, type of prop, dimensions, branding and theme. The props are set up to allow a layered approach to these volumes, where a certain volume placed by design could suggest an object with smaller objects on top of it, which in turn specifies smaller volumes. For instance, a designer could spawn a table which has a volume allowing for something to spawn on top of it. The volume could be tagged to spawn one of a variety of plates, which would also have a volume to spawn food. The food could also spawn something like a fork or knife stuck into it. The tech can be applied to many different prop sets, and designers can increase the variation through creating more elaborate setups via prefab libraries. The environment art team is focused on visual development for Hurston and its moons, set to be released in Alpha 3.3. Here we see recent work done on components of Lorville, Hurston's main landing zone. That's all for this week. We'll see you next time with more PU progress. Back to you in the studio.